Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Joe Yoga Life Diaries. I'm delighted to meet you, and thank you so much for tuning into my podcast this week. So on this podcast, we are talking about boundaries, and boundaries has been a huge subject for me recently because in my membership, it's been our theme for this month. So I've been providing lots of yoga, meditation, and a masterclass as well on how to really define your very clear boundaries, which isn't as easy as we think. We often think that, yeah, we know what our boundaries are and it's okay. But then we find like we so easily just let people cross them. And you know that when someone's crossed a boundary because you feel it pretty much instantly. It feels really yucky and uncomfortable, and you might feel a little bit like you've lost your self-esteem, or you just feel a little bit shit about yourself. And that's when you've allowed your boundary to get a little bit crossed. Okay. And it's really simple for women to do. Unfortunately, we do it a lot. And we don't mean to, because we are strong, empowered women who, really want to protect ourselves. But then we also have this kind of ingrained essence of ourselves where we want to please. We don't always want to say no. We want people to like us, want people to be happy. And it's in those times that we might just let our boundaries get crossed. And it happens with all of us. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be cross with yourself for. It just happens. But what I've got for you today is just a few questions that you can journal on and ask yourself just to get really clear on your boundaries. So let's dive straight in. So one of the first things I want you to really consider is, what are your core values? And you can just journal this out, and you can write down like a load of just words that come into your head about what your core values are. They don't have to be anything huge and profound. It can be, stuff like, well, I just want a nap every day, or I want time to myself, or I need freedom. That's quite a big thing. So you've got to really knuckle down on what actually is your core value. Is it time alone? Is it time in company? Is it exercising? Is it meditating? What are the things? What is something in your life that you need that if you don't have that, your life just goes tits up and things are just out the window? One of my core values, aside from freedom is a huge value for me. And I've always said that the one thing that I always know where it is, it's never lost, it's my passport. So I don't know if in a previous life I was a prisoner, but clearly I had my freedom taken away from me, because for no reason whatsoever, it is absolutely paramount important to me right now. Well, it has been my whole life, my entire life. I was doing a training course once when I lived in Birmingham, and the training course was taking place at the airport. I took my passport with me every day, just in case there was a flight for me to jump on. And so freedom has always been this huge, and I've never been in a situation in this life where I've had no freedom. So it's, that's a core value for me, is my freedom. The other one is my mindset work that I do every single day without fail. Actually, I say that some weekends I'm not quite as thorough. I might do it a little bit later in the day and it might only be 10 minutes. But every day in the week, I do 40 minutes to an hour of mindset work. And that's gratitude, that's journaling, that's meditating, that's watching uplifting and inspiring YouTube videos, or listening to podcasts. It's something that is feeding my mind nutritional information. And that is a non-negotiable for me. That is one of my core values, is my mindset work. And nobody crosses that boundary. Nobody has my time when it's my mindset time. So get really clear on what your core values are. And then I want you to be honest with, how are you really protecting those? Are you protecting them at all? If you are, fantastic. Can you protect them further? Is there a point at which you might just let that protection slip? Is there a person in your life where actually you do let them every now and then cross that boundary? Do you have somebody who you really, need to fiercely protect your boundaries against? So are you protecting those core values? And can you protect them further? So just consider those. So you know what your core values are. Are you protecting them? Can you protect them anymore? And the last thing I want you to consider is, how well are you using your voice? Two really important factors about boundaries. One of them is getting rid of any guilt, okay? Because we kind of live in this feeling that boundaries are selfish. They are not. Boundaries are not selfish. They are self-love. And the other thing is finding your voice. Find your voice. Speak up, protect your boundaries. I'd like to share with you a quote by the wonderful Brené Brown. Daring to set boundaries is having the courage to love yourself at the risk of disappointing others. So let me repeat that. Daring to set boundaries is having the courage to love yourself at the risk of disappointing others. So boundaries, we do sometimes think they're selfish, and they're not. You've got to love yourself more. So get rid of the guilt and find your voice. Speak up for your boundaries. So how much are you using your voice to protect and defend your boundaries? That's the final question I want you to just have a little journal on and see how much you are using your voice. And as I previously mentioned, this month in the Shala, we are doing yoga and meditation to get rid of the guilt, to strengthen our voice, to strengthen the throat chakra, to enable us to have the clarity and the voice to set and protect our personal boundaries. And if you haven't joined us in the Shala yet, then please come and join us. You'll find the link in the show notes. It's at www.realjoeyoga.com/Shala, SHALA. That's www.realjoeyoga.com/Shala, SHALA. We are a community of women. We work together, we support each other, and I provide yoga and guided meditations throughout the month, as well as a theme for you to focus on, just so that we can bring great clarity, great support, and live our life on purpose and be the best version of ourselves that we can be in this life. I can't wait to invite you in, to welcome you in, should I say, and it is the most wonderful community of women, and I can't wait to meet you. So please go and have a look, check it out, and just take a moment just to journal on those points today about your boundaries. What are your core values? Are you protecting them, and can you protect them further? Are you using your voice to defend your boundaries? I look forward to connecting with you next week. Lots and lots of love. Thank you so much for listening today. If anything resonated or you feel inspired to, please share, as that is how we spread the healing. To learn more about me, my teachings, or any of the Joe Yoga programs, go to www.joeyogauk.co.uk, and I'll see you next time. Bye.